Hi guys, today I'm working off of a sketch from a website. I try to show you the picture right now, but you really can't see it. So I'll link up the website and the sketch down below. It was like a grid kind of sketch, and it gave me an idea right away of what to do. And I'm working with a picture that I just love. It's a picture of my stepdaughter. When we had the Christmas tree up, she laid underneath it with all of her babies and her blanket, and she said, "I'm camping with my babies." And I knew I had to make a scrapbook page about that because me and my husband both thought it was adorable. So I'm just starting off with a white cardstock, and I'm doing some paint splatter on the white. I'm using blues and turquoises and I think maybe like a purpley pink color because I'm going with very muted pastel colors, which I've noticed I've been gravitating a lot towards lately. I don't know why, but I guess they just work well. For me, they work really well, and they've been very eye-appealing. So I'm just drying it up so I don't smudge it, because before this I tried a different paint and it did not dry for the life of me, and I wound up smudging it all over the cardstock. So I chucked it and I moved on. So I'm going to look at the sketch, and like I said, I'll link it up down below. I really apologize. I thought it showed up on camera, but it didn't. And it's a great website. I think they're Australian based, but they have layout sketches, and they have a forum, and they have all kinds of inspiration. So I'm taking this paper by Print Shop. It's like a light blue with stars, and I know that for my grid I'm just going to use squares of patterned paper and vellum. So I'm just figuring out how I'm going to place them. And I'm just freehanding them because I kind of like the freehand look compared to me cutting them out with my paper cutter. And so I'm just freehanding some squares of pattern paper. I'm just going to fiddle around with where I'm going to put them and the likes of it. So let's see. So this is the vellum. And I'm just going to take some of that. And then I'm going to use, I think I used 2 squares of that vellum. And then this piece was from Maggie Holmes Flea Market, and it's got a very tiny floral print, and I just thought it was cute and sweet, just like the picture. In her picture is Christmassy. You've got that dark green tree. I just didn't want to, I couldn't really do anything that dark, so I stuck with these light pastel colors because her blanket's pink and her babies are wearing yellow, and I just want it to be sweet. So I'm just using these papers, and I am just fiddling around with them, like I said, trying to see how I'm going to position them. And I think they get moved. They actually do get moved. So now I'm looking. The title in the sketch, the title goes on the left-hand side of that picture. So I'm going to look for a tag or something to put under the picture, so I have kind of a base to put my title. And that piece is from Maggie Holmes, and that one is from Studio Calico, and they're just some cutout tags that you can cut apart. These are stars that I made out of wax paper, melted wax, and silver glitter. It was a tutorial I was going to do, but it went horribly wrong. So instead of throwing the whole end piece away, I ended up punching out some stars with my star punch, and I'm going to use them on this layout because I like the way they came out. They're kind of fun, and they kind of are like the vellum. So I'm going to use a half of a doily underneath that picture, I've decided, and I really want to use this Studio Calico. It was for Project Life. It says, "You are so very loved." I feel like I use a lot of things that say that lately. But I'm just going to trim it down. I don't want to use it like the way it is. I just want to use it as a square. Because what I'm going to wind up doing is I'm going to try to fill up some of those squares with embellishments or journaling tags like that. So I'm just looking through here. I'm going to check the layout again. I'm going to take a picture so I kind of like the way that looks. And that way I can come back to it and do it that way. So I'm thinking about, I'm going to take all of this off. I'm thinking that I need some more paint behind these pieces, especially the vellum pieces. I thought it'd be cool if you can see through and see, you know, the paint drips and all that stuff. So I'm going to go drip crazy. I'm using an acrylic here. It's a light blue. It's called Robin's Egg Blue by Craft Smart. And I'm going to really, really water it down so it's the consistency of watercolor, and that way I can use my drip effect here. So I'm gonna kind of do some of that dripping on the bottom, on the side, and on the top. Just so when those pieces lay on there, they have a little something underneath them. So it's a fun, like, artsy paint splatter layout. And those are my favorite kind, I must admit. So I'm just drying that up. Now, I really love working with white cardstock because it is more, you have a lot more options to do. And a good cardstock is great if you're using watercolor or paint because you kind of want a tooth, something to grip that watercolor. And I usually use Basil, the Avalanche one. Because I don't know what I'm using here. This is like a no-name brand, so it is kind of thin, so it does kind of bunch up a little bit. If you guys have any good recommendations for cardstock, just comment down below, and I will look into it. So I'm just splattering some more, and I'm going to eventually mix that with a little green to get like a really cool greeny aqua color. And I have not used this heat gun so much since I've had it. I've been using it a lot to dry my paint. I used to do some embossing on layouts, but I'm just not really a stamp person. I don't know, it's just my personal opinion. I just have such hard times incorporating stamping into my layouts. I just can't make it work, but a lot of people I see do a great job. So it's something I like to pick up this New Year's, to use some of those stamps that I have and start using them again. And I totally just went off subject because of the heat gun. But here I am mixing that green with that blue, and as you can see, I'm just putting it on the paper. And what I do is I dip it in the paint and then I dip it in the water constantly. So I'm constantly dipping in paint, dipping in water, because you want it to pool. You don't want it to dry or not be pulled up, because you want those drips in that, how that mixes together, that green kind of mixed into the blue. It made a really cool effect. So you just want to have a cup of water near you and constantly be dipping in both, which you can see me doing here, but the cup is off camera, so you really can't see it. So I usually just, put it in pools of water and paint, and I usually just, as you can see, I pick it up and I tap it. I've seen some people use straws. I think Emily, it's me, Emily, or something like that. She uses a straw to blow it around, which is really cool. But I just tap it onto a paper towel so it drips down. This vellum had like silver paint on it, so I'm just going to conceal that part. It was a big smudge. I don't know how that happened. I'm going to start lining up my pieces. As you can see there, I like how you can see that splatter of paint behind the vellum. Gives it a cool effect. And so I'm just putting everything back together like a puzzle, and I have rearranged those pieces different than when I took a picture, but I'm happy with the way they look. And I'm going to put that little "You Are So Loved" down below, and I'm going to start taping down. Now when I'm not 100% serious about adhering, I only do a little bit of adherence, and that way I can pick them up and move them around. So with my ATG gun, I'm just putting a little dab of that ATG glue. So you can do this sketch so many ways. I mean, I saw one where they sewed the grid, or you can paint the grid, you can draw the grid, you can do it like I did, or you can do it with pictures. With sketches, you can just go so many different ways. You're not, confined to the way the sketch looks. You use it as like the bones of your layout, and then you just build it in your own interpretation. And that's what I like about sketches, is that they're really great help when you just don't have it in you to sit down and create your own layout design. Sketch is a great jumping off point, and I think I've said this before in a video. So I'm just adding some white photo corners to my picture, and I'm going to start adhering my stars down, and I'm just using my glossy accents. I'm just scattering them here and there. It's a really cute layout because she said she was camping with her baby, so I know that when you go camping you lay under the stars, and that just reminded me of these stars, and I thought they would be great on here. And I actually cut an extra few out of the wax paper, and I really like the way they look. You could probably do a lot. There's a lot of different techniques you can do with wax paper, and it's so inexpensive. So I cut a few extra out, which I can use on layouts. And you can use any kind of punch, really. Cut any shape, heart, stars, butterflies, whatever you'd like. So right here I'm just starting to do my title, and I'm using those silver, the chunky silver thickers. I think they are Journal, the Journal Diarra ones, and I'm just spelling out camping, so my title is going to be Camping with My Babies. So this is another project that I'm taking on. I would love to put together an album of all my stepdaughter's pictures that I have of her. I've known her since she was, I think, 2. She's going to be 4 soon, and I've taken so many pictures of her, and I would love to just have an album for her. And plus, making children's layouts is so much fun, which reminds me I have to start making layouts of my nephew as well, because he is just hilarious, and I get the best pictures of him. So it's a nice break from doing wedding album, from doing daily, everyday albums. It's fun to do children's scrapbooking pages. You can go so many ways with them. You use so many colors, and plus the stories that you get from the things they say. The titles are endless, so I'm going to start working on that. I have so many great pictures of her and my nephew. So this is my newest project, alongside with my wedding album. I think it'd be fun for her when she grows older to see all the fun times we've had together and all the pictures that we've taken of her. So I am looking for things to put in those squares, because to me they need stuff in them, and what they need I'm not quite sure. But so right now I'm pulling out letters because I did the camping in silver, and I'm going to do With My Babies in this pink, Prima. These are the Prima alphabet stickers, 518 pieces. They are, I don't know, they're from 2012, and they came in a variety of colors, and they're like a canvas texture, but I think I've had them for so long that they're not so sticky, so I'm going to have to go back and adhere them with glossy accents, which is going to be a pain because they're so tiny, but I do like the way they look. It gives a little texture to the layout because they are like that canvas texture. So I'm just spelling out the words. And they're kind of a nuisance, actually, to pick off that plastic page because they're so tiny, and the E's and the A's and the B's and all those don't have the little circle cut out, so you got to punch them with your finger. It's quite the hassle. So now I'm going to start looking for stuff to build in some of those squares. This is half of a twine and ink label. Oops, this is the memory card ran out, so now you see that I edit that label on top, and that's from October Afternoon. It's pink with a button and a heart, and then underneath that is a twine and ink. It's like a citrusy kind of greenish color label, half of a label sticker, and then down below is for the I think it's Lucky Charm sticker collection from Dear Lizzie. And that's where I'll journal my little story about Madison. So right now I'm outlining the squares with white ink. And they don't really show up very well, but I didn't want to do black. So I'm going to go back with my pencil, because the pencil is, pencil lead is gray, and it looks better to me. So I'm outlining my squares with the pencil. I'm doing it very naturally. I'm not making the line straight. Kind of want to look like it was sewn on there. And I just adhered that button down because I didn't before. Oh my gosh, it skipped so much I didn't realize, but up in that right-hand corner, I put glitter and sequins. I can't believe that this video is all screwed up, but up in the right-hand corner, I put some glossy accents down, and I smudged it with my finger, and then I sprinkled some silver glitter on it, and then I put some silver sequins and some enamel dots, and then down in the left-hand corner, I put some sequins, a star brad, and some more enamel dots. And at that point, I lost an A with my babies, and I put it back. And then on that little tag, I put her name. And now I'm just going to draw in the grid with the pencil. Just, you know, freestyling it here. So I'm just drawing that grid in. And then I think at one point I don't like the way the top line came out that I drew, and I go to get an eraser, but the eraser, pencil erasers sometimes just suck, and I can't really erase it, so I just leave it. And I'm just taking the other half of this doily, I'm going to cut off a little bit, and I'm going to tuck it underneath that bottom square. And I think at this point I go looking for an eraser, but I can't find one. I do find one and it's junky, and I don't want to. I start to erase and I'm like, nope, because I started to smudge my picture, and that was no good. So I'm just gonna journal, you know, Maddie grabbed her babies and snuggled up under the Christmas tree. I'm camping with my babies, she said. And I thought that was really cute. We got a good chuckle out of that, me and my husband, for a long time. Every time we see that picture, it's just so adorable. So I'm just filling that in there. And I am using black ink for that, and this is Sharpie Ultra Fine Point. And I don't have the exact date. I have to look back on my Instagram for this picture, but I did put, I know it was in December, so I put the month and the year. And those are from the Dear Lizzie sticker collection, just a border with hearts, and I'm just putting them there and here and there. And this is the end product. Oops. And here it is up close. And here's another angle of it. Thanks for watching. Bye.